Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thanks for that, Vic. I think we should all take a moment to thank Vic and Laura for bringing us all here together tonight. It's the only time that Ben and Janelle are going to have all these people together in one place for their life, and it's amazing that this space is provided for us all to share it. So thanks very much. Get my copy of Moby's Dick out here. It'll go quick. It'll go quick. All right. So good evening. It's an incredible night. Most of you don't know me. When I walked in here, the DJ announced me as the best man. But if you look at your program, there is no best man. There are only groomsmen, and I am just a groomsman, who, by the way, was saddled with a couple of responsibilities. One, I'm sure during the wedding you were all watching the bride and possibly the groom. But when the time came for the rings to be handed off, I delivered those rings. And as a groomsman, just a groomsman, I'd like a little credit. And so now I have the task of making a speech. And with two big responsibilities, I deserve some kind of title. And if it's not going to be best man, you know, it could be super groomsman or groomsman Maximus, I prefer. Okay. All right. So anyway, outside of Ben's brother Tim, I've probably known Ben the longest out of all these guys up here. We met in the summer of 1987. How many years has that been? Come on, man. 23 years. We became fast friends in the 3rd grade, and our birthdays are only a couple of days apart, so we shared a lot of life together. And I remember when we turned 16, you said to me something to the effect of, "Brian, from this moment on, we'll have known each other more than half our lives. And every moment from now on, I'll have known you most of my life." It was something you would say, and it was sweet and sentimental, but that's you, right? So the pleasure of knowing Ben for most of my life is that I've been able to watch him grow and struggle through life's challenges and finally get himself to a point in life where he can take full advantage of this moment and be ready to receive the goodness that a day like today implies. So Ben, you don't stay friends with someone for as long as we've been together without a tremendous amount of loyalty. You've shared my best times with me, which is easy to do. It's fun to be friends and have good times, but you've been there for me in my deepest grief, and that is really incredible. So thank you very much for that. You've never failed in any point of friendship, as far as I can remember. So I don't know what else to say except thanks. You're a true brother, and being in this position for me as your groomsman Maximus is something I will treasure for the rest of my life. I love you. Thanks a lot for your friendship. So, I'm sorry. So when I try to explain Ben to people who've never met him before, one simple fact comes to mind. It's that Ben is lucky. Ben is very lucky. I don't want to take anything away from all the hard work he's put into his own life. And he certainly wouldn't be the man he is today without his family, without Lou and Mark, his brother Tim, his wife Adrienne, his big grandma, his little grandma. They're incredible. But beyond that, Ben seems to have a certain openness towards good things coming to him in life. And in the very basic sense of the word, Ben is lucky he wins stuff. Ever since I've known him, he was calling radio stations and winning CDs and winning cash and winning t-shirts and always going on trips to pick that stuff up. The two biggest things he won in this fashion, the first was, well, in 1999 there was a football team in this town called the St. Louis Rams. They were really, really good. It's a fact, you can look it up. It's hard to believe, but true. At the end of that season, the Rams went to the Super Bowl, and so did Ben. He won an all-expenses round trip to Atlanta, Georgia to see them win. And he could have taken a football fan with him, but he took his groomsman Maximus of the future. And it was wonderful. And just a few years ago, he won another round trip, this time to Cancun. And again, you know, took me. That's special. But standing here, I know those days are over. No more free trips for Brian. So thanks for that, buddy. Now, about a year ago, your luck happened to work out too. You were working one of your 54 jobs or something, and this night you were working at Muehleisen's, and you were hanging out, and you were serving the table where the perfect woman for you to spend the rest of your life with just happened to be sitting. And because you're either oblivious or scatterbrained or you can't see the future, you had no idea. But whatever, the luck worked out. Divine providence or whatever it is made her reach out to you and say, "Hey, can I have your number?" And you probably said something like, yeah, here's my number. But that started the chain of events that leads us to tonight, and it's a beautiful thing. You're a lucky, lucky man. So now we're up to Janelle. Ben, take a look at her. A good, hard look at her. What an amazing woman. She's a babe. She's magically babelicious. She's a robo-babe. In Latin, she would be called Babia Majora. If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln. This is a woman who loves hockey. She loves literature. Ben's an avid Stephen King fan, but Janelle's going to bring some William Faulkner into the house. And that is important. And most importantly, she loves bad 80s musics, bad horror movies, bad things of any sort. And this is really wonderful. She loves Bruce Campbell movies. Now, most of you probably don't make a connection to that, but that's incredible. So from this platform, I charge you tonight to push forward and not relent until Ben understands the greatness of the Evil Dead trilogy, and he's ready to bow before the altar of Bruce Campbell. Can you do that? Okay. Now seriously, Janelle. I've known Ben for 23 years, and I've only known you for 1. But the beauty of this situation is that I can't imagine Ben without you. And if I do, he becomes a lesser man all around. So looking at you both tonight, I know that if Ben never wins another thing in his life, it'll be folly to say his luck has run out. Because with you standing by him, he'll always be the luckiest man in the room. So I'm not a married man. I don't have marriage advice to give you, but I do have advice learned in childhood with Ben. Very basic advice. Be excellent to each other. Party on. So everyone, let's raise a glass to the bride and groom. A toast to luck, loyalty, and love. The greatest always being love. Your love is a rolling river, so let it roll on and on and on and on and on. To Ben and Janelle.